Hello everyone, my name is Deckerlink, the trained unprofessional, and welcome to the beginning of the foam apocalypse. You'll be able to see a little bit of it right here. A great friend of mine, Court, she gifted me with some of this wonderful acoustic foam. And so because I have this acoustic foam, I'm eventually going to be hanging it up behind me here. I gotta go to Walmart and get some command strips. But until I have those, I've just thrown a fuckload of it about in front of me, which, as a lovely commenter Sheen pointed out in the comments, as commenters are often at, a lot of the sound that is fucking things up in this room, not only the fan, which is not gonna get fucking... I can't do anything about that. I can't just turn off the fucking ventilation in this room, and I can't just make it not winter in Chicago here. But what I can do is recognize that a lot of the sound problems is my voice echoing off that wall and bouncing back against this wall and then bouncing forward again. Because this microphone is facing this way. Sound from behind it is a lot more muffled than sound in front of it. There you go. So, ideally, this foam would be behind me, but since I don't have shit to hang it up with, you gotta do what you gotta do. So hopefully this helps in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how this is going out, but you can tell which episodes have the foam if I have this hat on, and or if you can see it, and or if there is that big of a fucking difference, you'll notice. But anyway, on the last episode, we were continuing the Flynn route, and we just got out of the fucking lake, and so now we're here with Daxton, who looking rightfully terrified. Look at his fucking bug-eyed asshole. And then Carl, who's like, we're supposed to be here, man. And I don't know if my throat's ready to be narrating from Flynn's point of view again, but let's see how it goes.
So, where's here exactly?
Where our friend died. Well, where he drowned and later died in a hospital.
Carl's bluntness takes even me off guard. There's no coldness in his tone, though. Just the truth of it.
That's terrifying. I'm sorry I asked.
After a moment, he speaks again.
And sorry for your loss. I feel like this past week I've just been a dingleberry on you guys.
It's okay. It's cool you're here.
Everyone goes quiet. Daxton occasionally looks over his shoulder to see if there's any sign of the groups. A sign the group sent someone back for us. No such luck. I'm starting to realize how exhausted I am. Coasting on adrenaline for an hour straight will really take the wind out of you. I lower myself to a squat, then sit cross-legged in the sand. Despite all the water and vegetation, the air still feels kind of dry and smoky. I wonder where that fire's coming from. No response. I look over and Carl and Daxton are sitting together watching the tide. They look as tired as I am.
What do you want to happen here?
Carl eventually speaks, his tone droll and somewhat monotone. I look toward the tree with all the bullet holes. I want to know what happened. Oh, we got the scary music. The scary fucking music. The gong? I spy the ass prints of Carl and Dax in the sand next to me, but they're nowhere in sight. I quickly rise to my feet, hesitant to call out to them, noting what happened earlier. Move up to the top of the hill next to us, stepping through the dry grass. As I look around, I see no movement beyond the rolling tide of the waves, illuminated only by the slight moonlight. Fuck. My whole plan of waiting here for something to happen seemed a lot better when I had others around. Now that I'm the alone and unarmed, my gall is starting to fucking wane. They must have went to Leo's house. I mean, surely they'd fucking wake me first, right? Did I even pass out? Felt more like I just blinked and then, bam, gone. For a moment, it feels like something just tugging the back of my shirt. I turn, expecting to see the bulbous face of Carl at my side, but there's no one there. Hey, assholes, where are you? Let out a harsh whisper directed at the desert scrub around me. Again, no response. I sigh, rubbing my palms over my face. There's no choice. Gotta get to Leo's. My gaze drifts back at the bench and the bullet-ridden pinyon tree. I was struck with a strange sense of solace, as if the spot would be somehow tranquil to me if circumstances were different. For now, I take stock of what's still in my soggy pockets. Keys, phone, dead as hell, probably fried, and an old granola bar wrapper. In the grunt, I make my way off the beach and toward the rail tracks. I follow the familiar route, passing the occasional abandoned freighter car. It's been about 15 minutes, and so far no sight or sound of the gang, and only other miscellaneous townfolk, or any other miscellaneous townfolk. I inadvertently find myself walking on top of the rails, balancing like I'm a kid again. It kinda keeps the edge off and softens the noise of my footsteps, though it ain't very time efficient. Feels like by now I should be able to see Leo's house, but so far, nothing. It ain't until the track's dead end perpendicular to the highway that I realize I'm being fucked with again. I stand to the edge of the pavement where the old bike lane has been overtaken by weeds, pavement crumbling to gravel. I'd hoped that the spatially fucky shenanigans would end once we exited the van, but goddamn, why would it? You going the right way. The back of my skull tingles and I cup hands over the sides of my head. That wasn't my goddamn thought. To Leo's? I ask aloud like the fucking loony I am. I wait. No response. I clench my fists to my sides. Fuck it! Fuck this! I take off in a run down the road, keeping the power lines on my right. I run mindlessly, knowing damn well the nature of the loop, but trying not to think about it. I'm not usually the sort to be doing my running in echo on account of the centuries worth of broken glass that lines the sides of the roads. That and the fact that the sight of a 6'7" Gila sprinting tends to naturally raise alarm, even with folk who already know who I am. Somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour passes before I see something ahead. I stop somewhere along the center line of the winding old highway, the cracked asphalt feeling like it's chipping away at my already blistered heels. I stare at the faded red building. My truck is parked in the front for some reason. She says only in my head. She says, I know it's only in my head. Girl in the car in the parking lot says, man, you should try and take a shot. Can't you see my walls are crumbling? And she looks up at the building, says she's thinking of jumping. She says she's tired of life. She must be tired of something around here. She's always on my mind. Why the fuck am I here? Right. Why do you come here? The voice in my head is clearer than before, like some harsh whisper coming from inside the back of my neck and slinking its way into my head. It almost feels like I thought the words myself. Is that a fucking clue? It's a mystery. My thought was rhetorical, and hearing it respond so aptly takes me off guard. I clutch my throbbing head in both hands. I've gone full fucking schizo. Thank you. When the weird shit's on the outside, it's one thing, but on the inside... I grimace, bracing myself against the gate in front of me. Gate? There's no gate in front of this place in real life. I take a closer look and see the entire place is fenced off, like some kind of high security complex. A tarnished rebar gate is the only entrance point. My truck is just on the other side. It's only about up to my chest in terms of height, though it's got security spikes about every foot along the top. A single key lock is all that keeps each side of the gate together. It doesn't look too sturdy. I eye the truck through the bars and then check to make sure I still have my keys in my pocket. Sure enough, I feel the familiar leather saguaro keychain between my fingers. Try your keys on the gate lock or break the lock. I don't see what the fucking choice here is mattering. I don't know why our keys would work on the lock. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. I guess... I mean, there's no fucking harm in trying the keys, I guess. Let's try them. Without even thinking, I take out my keys, flipping through the ones for the city hall. I grab the sides of the lock, push in the key, twisting. To my surprise, I keep twisting my wrist without resistance. I hear a soft click as the fastening point comes unlatched. I stare at the lock, feeling some fleeting sensation of accomplishment. It soon falters as I note the lock being there in the first place doesn't make a lick of sense. Also, the tip of my fingers that were grabbing the lock appear to have been stained black. Paint of some kind. Someone must have painted the lock recently, though the fence itself still looks pretty faded. I wipe my hands off the back of my pants and push open the gate. It only opens about 6 feet wide, nowhere near enough room to get my truck through. If I revved hard and gunned it, I probably could break through, though I've got a feeling that's not what I'm supposed to do. There's not really a fence in front of this place. This isn't fucking real, but I'm seeing it. So why am I seeing it? That's the fucking question, right? Duke's words from earlier come to mind.
Thing is, we've all got something after us. Something bad. Won't let you leave when it starts. What's after you?
I half expect the voice from earlier to speak again, but it's silent. Just a dull throb in the back of my head. I love that Duke voice. I absolutely do. Menacing hillbilly, it's fucking awesome. The smart thing to do, the logical thing, as Dax would put it, would be to sit down under a nice tree and just ride this out like a bad trip. Maybe get some sleep. I can fix it, like turning the computer off and on again. I peer up at the sky. The red lights from the building make it seem as though the sky itself was blood red, expanding to various pinkish hues to the horizon. Like fucking hell I could get a wink during this shit. I step up to the door with the engraved bit of signage next to it. Here for the seed. That, of course, ain't what it usually says. The cheeky-ass, winking smiley face is still there, though. I let out a short sigh. You fucking idiot. I turn the handle and pull, but it doesn't budge. I push next, and still nothing. The handle shouldn't turn if it's locked. I'd know. I've been here before when it was. I push once more, and I am surprised that it gives, the door opening. I only leave it open a crack, still a bit wary about whatever weirdness lies within. The first thing I notice is the burning smell. It's stronger than it is on the outside. It's hot as hell, too. If this place had a kitchen, I'd swear something was being overcooked in it. At first, it's quiet. Nothing but the creaking wood beneath my feet. Then music starts to play. I notice the boxy television set in the corner of the room is turned on, a grainy old cricket match on the screen. It's all very much the same from what I remember, except for a lone otter sitting at the bar counter. He's holding something to his head, an ice pack, and he's nursing some shitty import pale ale in his free paw. There's no one else in here but him, at least in the front area. Hey, you! The otter's posture stiffens. Yeah, you! Are you real?
What?
He responds back, his tone exasperated and groggy. Confusion, that's a good sign, I guess. I step a little closer, the otter using the bar counter to rotate himself in his swivel bar stool. He's decked out in a skull t-shirt, cargo pants, and one of those lame scout caps that only jarheads, leather daddies, and theater kids wear. Seems dazed, squinting at me like I'm a bright light.
Someone tuning up an orchestra in here?
What? After a moment, something seems to click and his eyes widen slightly. A long smile crossing his snouty muzzle.
Motherfucker.
He pushes himself to his feet, making his way through the bar's haze. Who the fuck is this person? I don't like their eyes. I don't like their eyes. Why does this person have a custom character sprite? Unless this game has gotten to the point where even extras have sprites now, this is an important person.
What are you doing here, you big-ass bitch?
He claps my shoulder roughly, then pulls me into a tight hug. For an otter, he's got a strong grip, and I actually irk aloud as he pats my back. The fuck the hell are you doing? After a moment, he pulls away, raising a shadowed brow beneath his hat. Instead, I notice his eyes. Baby blue, almost gray. Not a common color for his kind of otter. There's some bags under them, though, like he hadn't slept in some time.
I was fixing to ask you the same thing. It's been dead all night and I wasn't expecting company. It's kinda unreal seeing you here like this, though. There's been...
He huffs, astonished with a slight air of sheepishness. Well, a while. He folds his arms over his chest, the otter looking up at me from beneath the brim of his hat with a sort of wry expression. He seems happy to see me, and it's all so familiar. Wait a second. I blink. Jesus.
What? This is Sydney? Wait a minute. What are you fucking... Really? Sydney was an otter? I didn't know that. I didn't... What the fuck? What the fuck?
Jesus fuck, Sid? He lets out an amused noise, nodding.
Yeah! Wait. Don't you even try to tell me that you're here by coincidence.
He's an adult? Fucking 6 feet tall, I'd reckon. He's in shape, too, rocking on full-on muscle shirt. I look around as if expecting to see Chase around a corner with a video camera and some shit-eating grin. There's still no one around us but us, though. I'm sure there's a reason I'm here. He seems to perk up some, doing one-handed finger gun gesture my way while the other nurses an ice pack against his head.
Knew it. I mean, I'm glad, yeah. Did you get my Christmas package? I wasn't sure you'd like it. Saw them in the Macy's Maze thrift town on Elwyn. Haunted Hacienda. Deadly Love Rivals 2 Final Obsession. A Choir Boy, a Whore, and Horror Sleuth. Shitty B movies I got from the bargain bin. You know, the sort of not a lot of plot to get in the way of the film. Plus I bundle them all up with a bunch of Crossfire shooting mags. Oh yeah, I also threw in some jerky I got from a trade show after my match in Desert Springs. That jerky, it's super good. Hatch green chili flavored. You know, that's where they grow that shit en masse, right? World capital.
I can't help but stare, absolutely flabbergasted. This is what he'd look like. When I don't immediately respond, his smile dissipates some. Maybe you didn't get it? Fucking delivery guys, right? Oh, some weasel or something with a good smeller. He yonks his own black nose. Pining from a jerky. Am I fucking dreaming right now? Am I asleep or just tripping? The otter, Sydney, was looking at me more worriedly. You, want to sit down or something? I look around at the still empty bar. Facade or not, my legs are killing me. Sure. That's just a normal-ass kitchen back there, with like real cabinets. He motions towards some old wood and velvet bar stools next to a raised table in the corner, and we take our seats. After Sydney grabs his drink, of course. I don't like this. This is freaking me out, dude. I don't know where the bartender went. He's usually in the back. I look towards the smoke room door. Nothing seems to have changed about it. He? Yeah, he. Big tiger fella. Only guy who works here, as far as I know. He scrunches his brow, thinking for a moment. Unless he got a sex and species change to become a bleach blonde bunny with a big bouncing tits, I don't think so. I grunt. The hell's he talking about? He was into dressing up in chick panties, but I don't think we're talking about the same person or the same bar. Sid smirks, looking at me with a little wide-eyed. Thinking of one of your gay bars, right? The fuck are you talking about? This is the gayest bar in the state. If this were real, there'd be 20 fucking dudes reaming each other behind that door as we speak, including the bartender. I point the familiar no smoking labeled door, my tone more firm now. Including you? His comment has a derisive, teasing tone. After a while he blinks, looking back over his shoulder to see what I'm looking at. You've been porking guys who go to a clown school? That's a goddamn tiny janitor's closet. Says so on the door. I squint at the door. For a brief fleeting moment I can almost quite make out a little mop and bucket symbol posted in the center. But it's simply not there. I honestly don't know why I came here tonight. I guess I just had a good feeling about it in my gut. And by that I mean I saw the picture outside there for their Chipotle-dusted beer nuts and my stomach got a boner. And I guess it also worked out since I got to see you. He thrusts his arms towards me, trying to put on a cheeky, sarcastic grin like he's trying to play off the statement like he realizes how sappy it sounds. There, to my knowledge, has never been advertisements for spiced beer nuts posted outside the bar here. Jesus. I slowly lean back into my chair, letting out a long exhale. It's real good to see you, too. More so than you probably know. He opens his muzzle to speak again, but I cut him off. Sid, where do you think we are? Takes a swig from his beer, peering at me for a long moment before examining his surroundings. It's, snaps his finger a few times. The beer nut place! He frowns, shifting his ice pack back into his noggin. Fuck, I'm not that sauced. I just hit my head real hard on the counter when I was bending over to pick up my phone. Shit, did we have plans to meet here? I genuinely don't fucking know. I sure as fuck didn't. I trail off for a moment, swallowing away the tight feeling in the back of my throat. I pull my phone from my pocket, turn it over in my hand, still dead. I wasn't expecting to ever see you again. His blue eyes widened, the otter giving me that same doe-eyed look he'd give me after we'd been hanging out, I'd say I'd have to go. He never wanted to go home. Look, I know I bailed on the interview you set me up with. You were really pissed. Rightfully so, too. Fully justified, I get that. I know, I fucked up. What? I'm trying to get clean. I swear to shit. It's just so fucking hard, you know? You're on drugs? No. I mean, not right now. I'm sober as fuck. I looked to the ale in his paw. Sans the booze. Yeah. Look, all the other guys I wrestle with at the road shows, no, they're all on to shit. Everyone's trying to bulk up and stuff so they actually get a pops when the crowd see them. His tone is completely defensive. The otter looking me straight in the eyes, searching for any sign of doubt. There's this one guy, Cody Altero, or well, he goes by the name Rico Renaissance now. He's been getting booked as my rival, and the bastard's up 25 pounds in the past 2 months. 25 fucking pounds. No way in fuck is he doing that with chicken breast and protein shakes. Wait. You're telling me you wrestle for a living? That would explain the muscle shirt and those tacky ass wristbands. Like, that's your actual goddamn job. Sydney leans back some, still peering at me with the same searching look. Yeah, he used to go to my shows all the time. SFF, Sunday, Friday, fucking what? Sunday Fun Day fights? It's mainly fucking juggalos and shit now. We get paid in pennies and grass, but you know, it's a start. I'm tough. He sniffs, still drifting down into his arms on the sticky table surface. He doesn't seem grossed out by it. Orion told me they never clean up the front anymore. Said not to touch the underside of the table since they're packed solid with two things, gum and cum. Ugh. I notice patchy areas of fur near his inner elbows. That makes me take a moment to register. He's got fucking injection marks. He seems to see me staring and pulls back his arms. I gawk at him for a moment, Sydney bracing himself for whatever I'm about to say. Gives me a sinking feel in my gut, but it makes sense. The shit Sid dealt with growing up, every sign was pointing towards him getting some sort of chemical addiction down the road. It ain't just roids, is it? Yeah, well, you know me. I take some shit for, the mental stuff. Mental stuff? I'm assuming it ain't prescription. You assume correctly. He speaks slowly, twiddling his thumbs in his lap, his eyes dancing from the bottle in front of him to me and then back again. I'm not sure what to say. We sort of just sit there in awkward silence. I know you never really understood all the fucky stuff going on in my head. I just want to thank you for sticking around as long as you did. Can't say the same for anyone else. I'm not really an easy person to have the back of, especially when I'm one person 1 minute and another the next. I remember the shit Chase was talking about earlier, about the incident at the ice cream place in Pueblo. The way he just clicked and changed. He continues speaking, the otter is shifting his thick tail listlessly behind him. And tell your roommate Dax thanks as well. I know y'all both really tried to get me a stable job at the print shop, but fuck, it would have never worked out. Schizo like me can't hold a position like that. Instead of Carl, Sydney was the one I would have been helping. I realize he's still out there, caught up in all this hysteria without me while I'm stuck in this place. Sid, this isn't real. The otter gives me another strange look. He clearly was expecting me to be acting much differently than I am now. Like he's been preparing to speak to me for some time now, and I've been completely derailed his plans to get a lot of the shit he wanted to say off his chest. You're not real. I'm just fucking dreaming right now. I thought you couldn't dream. You used to get annoyed as hell with me when I'd go off about some shit I'd dream about. Yeah, well, I am now. How would you even know what a dream was if you had one? After all, you look more like you just woke up. I shake my head, watching the blurry brown and black form in front of me shift from side to side. I keep expecting him to just not be there when my vision refocuses. Look, let me just let shit out plain like. You can't be here. You're dead. You drowned over a decade ago in Lake Emma. I think Chase did it. Or at least I think he did. Sydney looks uncomfortable, as if the slight semblance that this is all some elaborate fun ruse I'm pulling on him is looking increasingly unlikely. Okay. Well, that didn't happen, no nuts. And Chase, that twink couldn't hurt a fly. He sighs, rotating his half-empty bottle of pale on the table and smearing the ring in condensation that forms beneath it. Of condensation that forms beneath it. I'm right fucking here, and I just want to talk to you. His tone seems terse, hurt even. No, shitbird, you died. TJ saw 2 bodies with the brown fur writhing in the water before you drowned. They all thought you died on your own somehow, like you passed out of some shit, but I knew better. I see a flicker of realization in Sydney's eyes, and again he shifts uncomfortably. I think I remember what you're talking about. But I'm not dead. I'm here, motherfucker. Feel me! He reaches across the table and takes my wrist, squeezing hard. It's like he's trying to give me an Indian burn, but like he used to do. I yank back my hand. Fuck off! He stares wide-eyed at me, his maw slightly agape. A moment passes before he speaks again. Why are you acting like this? Like you can't just fucking enjoy some goddamn company. Plus, you're so goddamn intense. You're not even high right now. This isn't fucking fair. I'm your goddamn best friend. Hell, you're like my gay, scaly brother. You can't fuck with me like this. This is too real. I quickly shake my head, closing my eyes. You're dealing with me right now, not the thing inside my head. And that's fucking becoming a rarer and rarer thing these days. So I'm just really trying to enjoy what time I got. Just talk to me. I don't want to think. He trails off, staring down at his lap. Think about what? There it is. The change. The music seems to sound further and further away until it dissipates entirely. Oh no. I deal with this shit all the time. With me, I grip the edge of my seat, my gut feeling like it's twisting in on itself. It's like I'm standing in front of a roaring fireplace. The smell of smoke and fresh ash licking my nostrils while the heat tickles my scales. Sydney's gone forever and all that's left is this. Who are you? It feels different to me. The thing is that the thing that isn't Sydney looks around. This is not the smoke room. It looks like it, but not to me. The audio continues to stare off to the side before seeming to realize I asked a question. Sam, I am. The fuck? While he speaks, he points toward you across the table. What? Was that a mistake? Toward me? Does he mean towards us as Flynn, or us as in us? 'Cause I don't want to... What? There's something metal in his grasp, long with a barbed end. I can't make out what it is exactly. I swallow and try to speak evenly. Who's Sam? A facsimile of a person that was. I'm dabbing myself with ink so I never dry, but it smudges. Whoa! Oh, what the fuck? Oh, his pupils are gone. Oh, that's fucked up. Oh, that's fucked up. Oh, that's fucked up. Oh, this is really fucked up. A simulation. In here, I become we with you. Me? What the fuck did it... Podpalads? No? What? I'm not sure I hear that first part correctly. At first they came through the gate, then they came through the stars. There's a pause. Did they come for you? He looks at me and I feel my legs begin to shake. I tremble, wishing I was anywhere but here. The others before, they bounce, undulating in constant restless motion. The hollowed figure heaves, breathing heavily as he sways Sydney's body up and down. He stares at me with eyes that remind me of the fish Carl and I catch in the pond. But that's not what you want. You want the answers. After all, it's a bit late for love, and too still for lust. I just fucking need to know what happened to Sydney, so that the hysteria stops and that everyone else is safe again. That could help. You can chase the truth until you're red in the face. The thing looks over toward the... Whoa! What the fuck? The thing looks over towards the smoke room door. What was once Sydney raises an arm and pointed with an unnatural, stuttery movement. It ebbs and flows like the tide. You can ride it. Each time the tide comes in, it's a little less of what it once was, abstracted. It goes where sorrow sprouts and takes with it what it can before rolling back out. Some tides are particularly large. He waves a blurred paw at me, and again I see the metal thing grasped in his paw. He seems to see me looking at it and holds it in front of me. You burn them all down around you until only the truth remains. The fucking building's on fire. Can you hear this shit? The volume might be down a little too much. You needn't the superfluous kindling, for those are but the lies they tell others and eventually themselves. You'd make a good detective if you weren't marinating in your nepotist squalor. Unlovable, shameful, a sin to all who initially cared for you. Truly only belonging amongst the sawdust, semen, and ash. Thoughts drowned out amidst the moaning and groaning of unfamiliar shadows. The only one who precisely knew you, who precisely loved you. Ushered into the tide by those you thought fondly of. And justice denied again and again and again. He presses the barbed tip of the rod into the table. There were 6, and now there's 5. The distorted otter is looking at the thing in his grasp as he says this. It's a fire poker. I hesitate to speak, my mouth feeling dry and my forked tongue caught between my teeth. Yeah, I get it, but are you what I saw earlier in Leo's van? No. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yes, we were there. Well, what I just saw with Sydney, was that real? It could be. Somewhere in here. He seems to be referring to the poker. I reach for it, but my hand can't quite touch the metal. It phases right through. The hollowed thing just stares at me, watching my futile attempt. Slowly I rise to my feet, my legs gelatin-like as I wobble some. I manage to steady myself with my tail, grasping the sticky table for support. The distorted otter just watches me, somehow looking almost eager. With no small amount of trepidation, I begin approaching the smoke room door, the sound of crackling flames growing louder the closer I get. This has to be it. The alternative being doing nothing, which, while real goddamn appealing, probably wouldn't stop what's going on outside. If that's how it works, that is. I grasp the handle. Fuck me. Many have. Ooh. I stop looking back over my shoulder. The figure's leering closer now. Fuck you, too. As I turn back to face the door, I swear I see the shape smile. I turn the knob and step inside. There is absolutely electric, and I feel myself involuntarily shiver. I brace myself against the wood-sided walls, staring through the darkness. Yeah, that's just the fucking room. I've never seen it this empty before. I get this sensation in my gut that something terrible happened here. Looking back, I don't think the shape followed me. I'm still here.
God damn it, leave me alone!
I feel my blood chill, but I keep moving. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. The version of the smoke room is impossibly large. I keep walking into the darkness, expecting to reach an end, but it doesn't happen. It just keeps looping in on itself. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be looking for. I hear a sharp crack, a gunshot, followed by a low cry, someone wailing. It doesn't sound like it's coming from inside, but rather a reverberating noise outside, far away. The whole room begins to vibrate as if activated. The rumbling, it's stronger on one side of the room. I walk in that direction. As I approach, I hear more wailing, more voices, some sounding different and rather close.
Flynn!
Now there's huffing and panting, the sound of hooves and soft feet upon the stone floor. They're trying to catch up to me. At the other end of the long, cavernous hallway, I'm not in the smoke room. I'm in the mines. And it's very, very hot. I feel my whole body rumble like shockwaves are bouncing my insides. There's something next to me. I can't quite make out what it is. A body?
Dude!
So stay back! Initially, it's like a cold shower, an icy sensation that presses against my front and washes over me like a tide. I recoil, but there's nowhere to withdraw back to. At first measure, the whole of the body is unable to discern the extreme cold from the extreme heat, though the time soon passes and burning feels all too real. I can feel it seep in between the cracks of my scales and lick at the more vulnerable flesh beneath. I'm standing in fire, but I don't see it. I see nothing. I can't even tell where it's coming from. Wherever I go, the burning follows. The fabric of my clothes ripples and the seams begin to snap away. Some of it falls to the floor, the rest clings to my body like new skin. Even the air I breathe burns, making my insides boil. I flail into the darkness, running now. After a while, it feels like I'm practically gliding. I hear a sound and move towards it. Fucking help me! I utter, my voice raspy and light. Footsteps. There are several of them in a bonfire. I see the silhouettes of people running, flailing about just like me. Panic everywhere. A woman, Genevieve Sanders, the mail carrier, is standing above the fire. A gun is in her hands. Salem's body is burning. And beside her is Auntie, face down with a bloody hole in the back of her head. No. I pinch myself trying to wake up. I pinch so hard I feel the scale of my arm split in half and blood that seems like it's in boiling pools from it. It quickly evaporates and all that's left is the mark of a reddish pink flesh underneath scar tissue. I look up, she's still standing there, mouth agape, like she's frozen, but her eyes follow me in real time. She sees me, but it's like she can't act. Why? Fucking why? I received no answer from the horrified visage. She's still holding the gun. She'll do it again. She'll do it again. Stop her, stop her, stop her, fucking stop her. I lunge and it's like she's made of sand, flesh dissolving away beneath my claws as I touch her. And then, it's like a rope wrapped around my waist yanks me back. The wind is like sandpaper against my burning head as I fly through the blurred shapes and silhouettes. What did I do? Was that real? Oh God, Auntie. Jesus fuck, what's happening? Next thing I know, I'm in front of City Hall again. Though, everything's different. There's a crowd gathered around the large tree outside and their clothes are all old-timey like. Men in suspenders, women in prairie blouses. Their faces are furious blurs, polygonal masses of fur and teeth that seem to exude their emotion more strongly than their distant facial features. Maseda Fennec stands upon a wooden stool with a noose wrapped around his neck, the priest next to him reading his last rites. The man is so angry, so hurt, tears like waterfalls down his matted yellow cheeks. Someone hurls a piece of hardtack that hits him square in the jaw, but he doesn't react. The cries of the crowd are obscured, distorted. Something about a child or children. There's a man to the edge of the crowd, a ram. The one the Fennec is staring at. He looks like Carl. The ram pivots on his hooves, turning to walk away, but stops when he sees me, his expression vacant. The Fennec shouts indiscernible hatred at the man. Just then, the stool is kicked out from beneath him. As he sways, feet kicking and driblets of piss cascading down his overalls, it's as if the ground itself begins to bounce. It's something so palatable and awful that it's beyond words, that I can feel within my mind more readily than the burning of my flesh. The stony faces of the mob seem completely unaware that their actions are feeding something far greater than they will ever know. I'm sucked away again, and feel my scales fall from my body like black and orange confetti. My thudding heartbeat is becoming increasingly irregular. Wait, that's the fucking... That's Brian's fucking trailer! I'm standing behind a shelf now. There's someone in a hoodie next to me, but he doesn't notice I'm here. He's got a camcorder. I think it's Salem? He's younger. Oh God, I don't want to see that! Oh Jesus, a large bear, larger than me by a couple of inches, steps out from what looks like the bathroom door. It's Brian, meth dealer who lives in a trailer on the outskirts of the old city limits. I see him at the smoke room sometimes. He deals there. Neither of them are looking in my direction. I soon see why. There's a Fennec on what looks like a rack nearby. One of his eyeballs is gone, but he's still alive. On the television behind Brian, a slideshow of grotesque images flash by. One of the Fennec's missing eye on the smoke room counter. Looks like the place was closed, so nobody could walk in and see what they were doing. In the real world, the Fennec's words are garbled and distorted as if coming from an old VHS. He's feigning love for the bear, asking him to hold him tender-like instead of whatever else he has planned. The Fennec's face becomes increasingly blurry. Is that Danny? Casey? Keith? There were so many, they blur together. Salem's grinning, the reflection of his camcorder screen leaving a stark glint in his eyes. I feel myself move out from behind the shelf beyond my own will. There's a rumbling pull in my gut. I'll be pulled away any moment now. Attack Brian, attack Salem, put the Fennec out of his misery. What the fuck kind of choice is this? Fucking attack Brian! Brian sees me, his eyes going as large as saucers.
They're real.
Is all he can get out before my hands pass through his gut. The hairy flesh seems like it practically disintegrates at my fingertips until I notice that it's all splattered on the wall beside me. As I'm pulled away, I can just make out the tusk smiling face of Salem. It's full of shock, but the smile remains, and so does the maimed Fennec. I gasp into the void, the fresh blood mixing with my own. My actions no longer feel entirely of my own volition. It's like something pulling in my skull. Like back at City Hall, when I condemned Chase. We make the justice we're given. I popped back in front of the familiar ram and salamander like all that had happened was some horrible vision. But my body feels the same. And the gaping expressions of the duo show me no signs of relief. I can barely make the noise with my throat the way it is. I can practically feel my vocal cords snap away as I speak, letting me only exude a guttural growl. I reach out to him, seeing a sinewy red appendage my arm. Seeing the sinewy red appendage my arm has become. The tunnel shakes around me. Carl and Dax both turn and flee, Salamander screaming his absolute lungs out. I'm terrifying to them. As they're about to round the corner, I see Carl hesitate. He looks back at me. I can't see his expression, and I can't call out to him. I'll let him know I'm still in here. With some strained effort, I turn my wrist around and close all but one of my fingers. The ram continues to stare as the rumbling increases. I'm pulled away once more. It goes on like this. At each stop I lose more of myself mentally and physically. Each vision that appears before me some new unspeakable evil I hadn't fathomed existing. I let the thing inside my head take more and more control. Like my body, I become numb. All but my vision and hearing is gone, and they're swiftly fading too. I keep closing my eyes, waiting for it to end, but it doesn't. I can't die. I hear the soft pitter of feet on a rocky embankment. Somewhere down the way, stones are being skipped. Clap. Someone threw a big one. Then sniffling, followed by a low sob. Crying has become so familiar to me I hear it more than anything else, it feels like. It's like singing, isn't it? Purest expression of emotion. Fuck you. But this one is more familiar. To me as well. I could just make out the audible sound of little pebbles rolling down a hill, followed by a heavy thud. I turn to see a faint gray silhouette with big blue eyes.
What?
The voice hits me like electricity. This is it. I'm what he saw that day, on the beach by the outlet. Finally. He screams. They always scream. I have to follow him. I have to see it. I descend beneath the waves, and I see excess fat drift from my body into the tidal current. The water is abrasive, but I'm able to glide through it, swimming without swimming. Something pops, and suddenly, I can't see from my left eye! There's white water ahead, thrashing movement. A slight bit of reddish-pink mist dissolves in the current in front of me. No! I strain myself to hear, trying to keep absolutely still. But other than a faint occasional splash, there's nothing. Eventually, the splashing stops, and I know my best friend is dead. I rest in the current, and my voice in my head is fortuitously silent, not pressing me into movement or action. And though my eyesight is gone, and my skull punctuated by nothing but empty sockets and orifices, I see something. Daxton does not move, though I can read the intent in his eyes that he very much wants to. Instead, he remains motionless, and we stare at each other. I imagine speaking to him, telling him what's happened to me. My words are rambling, my mind not what it used to be, but it doesn't seem to matter. He meets my gaze regardless. I ask him if Carl's all right, and of course he doesn't respond. I then simply stare, state that I hope he's okay. I go on and tell him about all the crap the Ram and I have been through, about how much I hope he fucking makes it out decently enough. I'm sure they'll give him another shot at the interview on account of town-wide madness. I tell him I hope it's over now, wherever he is. And finally, I apologize for what an absolute ass I was to him, when he deserved a goddamn none of my angsty bullshit. He never shows any indication of understanding or even blinking. Most surprisingly of all, it feels as though hours pass, and the hysteria simply holds on, whisking me away. No rumbling, no fire, no screeches into sudden chaos. Just a slow, eventual feeling of drifting away somewhere else, somewhere dry. There was a telltale sound of a hot water heater rumbling nearby. It's humming away. Someone must be taking a shower, or it's laundry day. I feel the vibrations more than I actually hear the thing. Then a faint whisper. The sound is stifled, as if the upset individual is trying to hold back tears. It's high pitch, feminine, a girl. The distortion is only slight. I bring my hand up and feel the wooden slats, and when I push harder, the whole surface bends and folds outward. It's a closet door. The sniffling stops. Slowly, I hold my hand and do a small wave, gentle movements, as I'm sure the distortion is making it look faster. It's quiet. All I can hear is the water heater in the girl's room. There's the shuffling of sheets, then small footsteps. Hi. Her voice is timid. There's another long pause.
Are you real?
I look for a moment. I think for a moment. Then slowly I shake my head. It's Jenna Ednan. The end? What? So we became the thing. The thing that haunted everyone. We became Eye Socket Man? Or not Eye Socket Man, Electrical Socket Man. And that was probably Jenna. Whoa! Stay a while. If you stay on this menu for long enough, does it change something? Tacking this on at the end here, I saw when I was looking to download the Smoke Room build 1.0 that Echo 0.43 build had been put out after I downloaded the build I was playing that only included clarification text to Flynn's route. That's the only thing that was added. Was they did sprite work, they did other stuff, typos, CGs, and clarification text. So that's what we're here to look at. We're back in the bear, but do you really want to know? You can chase the truth until you're red in the face, and we've already seen that. So that was added. You keep saying we. Oh, okay. The rebar from before. Jesus, I'm not in the smoke room. I'm in the mines. Okay, so the gate was you opening the gate into the mine. Kinetic energy. Electricity, like 1,000 subwoofers reverberating in the stone walls. We're here. The source. The seed. So this is where the shit happened. So it wasn't the killing of Sam, it was the murder in the mine. Which might have been caused by Sam? I don't know. This isn't in my head. This is real. I'm burning. Clarification that he actually is on fire. We clicked the bottom one. Not that I think that changes anything. We also attacked Brian. I'm not changing anything here. From time to time, I let the thing inside my head take more and more control. Sometimes I don't have the control in the first place, when the suffering is strongest. Where Sam thrives, he drives. That's a weird line. Alright. Oh! Hold up! Nuh-uh! You're not skipping past that shit. Oh my god! That's us? That's Flynn! So the fucking thing, you remember when back then it like flashed? The little red thing in the mine? That? That's Electrical Socket Man. I knew it. I knew it before I even saw the CG. And that has to be fucking Jenna. Oh, of course, I don't remember her having that big a fucking closet, but... That's fucked. Flynn became the monster that haunted his friends as a child. Because he was forcefully infused with the spirit of the people who have been murdered in this town. And we didn't get any answers as to whether or not Chase killed Sidney because his fucking eyes popped right as he was about to see it. That is one fucking haunting image, dude, man. That's fucking fucked. And he's saying he's not real. God damn, that fucking image is gonna fuck with me for a long time. I still don't know why it says stay a while. I don't know what that would fucking change. Anyway, I don't know where this got tacked in. But back to when I was recording this originally. Zoom back. So, like, Flynn gets overtaken by the shit that was possessing Chase that also had the spirit of Sidney that started with the murder of the way back when. Remember the shit that possessed Carl and Jenna during Carl's route. That all culminated into Flynn becoming the fucking electrical socket thing that haunted Jenna and TJ, and was the thing that Daxton saw. So that's the origin of Electrical Socket Man, I guess, but how did he turn into a fucking murderous... How did any of this... What the fuck happened? I'm gonna need, like, a lot of time to think on this. Because I have no fucking clue as to what the fuck is going on. Well, let me know in the comments what you guys think is happening, because I'm really shaking right now. And so the only route that's left is Jenna's route. Thank you all very much for joining me. I guess on the next episode of Echo, it'll be the continuation of Jenna's route. But until then, every time I play this, I get really fucked up. I don't know if playing this game is the healthiest choice for me, honestly. I absolutely love it. It's a very intriguing story. And it sure as shit impacts me in a big way. I just don't know if... I don't know if getting this emotionally messed up is healthy for me. But I mean, I've completed 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5 fucking routes. I'm gonna fucking finish. And I sure as shit don't worry about any of that. Thank you all very much for watching, and on the next one we will continue Jenna's route. But until then, ladies and gentlemen,